So after India, we hit the other global juggernaut, China. The biggest population in the world, with getting on for 1.4 billion people. Between the two of them, they're closing in on 3 billion people. Such a big part of who we are is represented in just these two neighborhoods in our global village. With a GDP per capita of $11,500, it ranks China about halfway up the wealth table at 66th. We know that the correlation between GDP and prosperity begins to dwindle after about $10,000 per capita per year. So maybe 20 years ago, the focus for China was simply just increasing the amount of output. But now the game is beginning to change. As they've moved into adolescence, new challenges are facing them. One of the most polluted cities in the world. The people that we met told us that sometimes in Shanghai, you couldn't even see your hand in front of your face due to the smog. China has become our global village's factory. Our ever-increasing demand has fueled and accelerated their growth. But I noticed that people are beginning to ask questions now that the economy slowed down. And it begins to expose the most startling statistic that I saw on the whole of the world tour. Although China scores a 59 overall on the Progress Index, when it comes to personal rights, it scores 4.6. We only managed to reach out to one native Chinese person for our jam sessions, because YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all the social media sites we're used to using are banned. It makes it really hard to get the message out, to mobilize people. And I think that's the point. I feel lucky to say that I'm not somebody that regularly experiences the feelings of fear or regularly has to say that I'm scared. But I have to say, I felt scared in China. I visited once before in Beijing and we had a great time, but this was different. This time we were trying to bring people together to talk about what is real, what problems there are, what solutions there needs to be to see China move forwards. And knowing that they have millions of people working on cybersecurity, actively trying to prevent people from organizing groups to talk about these kinds of things, made me scared. You could say for the first time I began to get an awareness of the privilege that I've experienced every day of my life, a deep sense of safety and security, knowing that where I come from has leverage on the global playing field. And that was rocked. I love China. I love the food and the people, the ancient history and architecture. But of all the places that we visited, China needs the deepest creativity, the most unusual forms of subversive individual action to chip away at this paradigm of power that has to change.